You know the plan. You have the checklist. You can list every reason why finishing this project matters. Yet, somewhere between starting and finishing, the momentum vanishes, and you find yourself looking for an exit. Most people view motivation as a direct line between taking an action and receiving a reward. Under this model, if the reward is valuable enough, you'll have no trouble doing the work. This chart illustrates why that model fails. Behavior and benefit are two sides of a triangle, but they both rest on a foundation of belief. This represents your conviction that your specific actions will lead to the result you want. If that foundation cracks, the entire structure of your motivation collapses. In the 1950s, researcher Kurt Richter tested this by placing wild rats in water cylinders. These were aggressive, powerful animals, natural swimmers. Even so, every single one drowned within 15 minutes. They physically could have kept going, but they interpreted the situation as inescapable and simply stopped trying. Richter then took a new group and rescued them just before they sank. After a brief reprieve, he put them back in. This time, they swam for 60 hours. Some lasted over 2 days. Being saved once taught them a vital lesson. Persistence leads to survival. The rats' bodies hadn't changed. 60 hours of endurance had been there all along. What shifted was their mental state. Richter noted that the first group succumbed to hopelessness. For us, this suggests that the limits we hit are often just beliefs we've adopted about what is possible. If we can learn hopelessness, we can also learn the belief that our effort matters. We often assume seeing is believing, but neurological research suggests the opposite. The first power of belief, attention, determines how we perceive the world. Your brain filters 11 million bits of data every second, and it uses your expectations as a shortcut to decide what's important. Look at these squares. Even when you know they are identical, your brain actively constructs a version of reality where they look different. Your beliefs act as a filter, highlighting data that confirms what you already expect and ignoring the rest. This leads to the second power, anticipation. These are emotional forecasts. Long before you even begin a task, your brain physiologically prepares you for what it actually expects you to feel. Marketers leverage this by creating rituals around ordinary products. Drinking plain water from a can branded with a flaming skull and housed in a coffin case changes the experience. Anticipating something provocative triggers dopamine, making it taste better than if it came from plastic. If your attention is trained to find obstacles and your anticipation is set to dread, you create a personal simulation where success feels impossible. You become the rat that stops swimming after 15 minutes. Breaking that simulation requires the third power, agency. High agency means recognizing genuine constraints while focusing relentlessly on your true sphere of influence. Consider Dashrath Manji. He was a laborer from a marginalized caste in India who spent 22 years using a hammer and chisel to carve a path through a mountain. He couldn't move the mountain instantly, but he could choose to strike the stone every single morning until the physical landscape of his village changed. In a modern career, low agency often looks like a limiting loop. Imagine a professional receiving a highly successful review that happens to mention one area for improvement. If she holds a belief that she is inadequate, her attention fixates on that one criticism while filtering out the praise. Her anticipation makes her dread her next project, and her agency vanishes as she begins to procrastinate to avoid more proof of failure. The way out isn't arguing whether the belief is true. Instead, treat beliefs as tools. If a tool isn't helping you build the life you want, select a different one. A more effective tool is mental contrasting. While simply picturing success drains your energy, mental contrasting forces you to visualize the goal alongside realistic obstacles. This prepares your brain for the effort, turning potential setbacks into navigation points rather than reasons to quit. Agency grows rapidly when you shift from a fear of failure to a deep conviction that you can handle difficulty. When you believe you have the capacity to respond to obstacles, you gain the power to act despite them. Our beliefs are the architecture of our daily lives. If you are stuck in a cycle of self-sabotage, you can begin rebuilding that structure today with a 3-step challenge. Step 1. Audit your labels. When you feel the urge to give up, identify the story you are telling yourself. Catch phrases like, "I'm not creative enough," or "It's too late for me," and recognize them as opinions, not facts. Step 2. Test the alternative. Ask yourself how your behavior would change if the exact opposite of your limiting belief were true. Consider which of those two perspectives would be more useful in reaching your goal. Step 3. Prove it small. Agency grows through small, demonstrable wins. Instead of a massive overhaul, find one minor task where you can exercise total control. These successes provide the physical evidence your brain needs to update its internal map. Liberating beliefs emerge from liberating actions. You don't have to wait for the world to change. You can change how you navigate it. To explore these mechanisms further, check out the resources at nirandfar.com and read Beyond Belief by Nir Eyal.